I started about 8 years ago when Aidan said to me, "Can we build a guitar?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure we can do that. We're okay with that. We can do that." And so that was the first one about 8 years ago. And from then on, I didn't want to waste all of the jigs and things that I'd made, so I continued making some more. So this one here is number 8. So Ivana has one, Mitchell has one.
These are your grandchildren?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mitchell has one. Heath, I built one exactly like this one. So Heath got one like this. Mark's was the second one.
That's your son?
Yeah. His was the second one because he'd given a guitar away and he said, "I'm sorry I gave it away." And I said, "Oh, would you like a guitar?" And I'd already had it nearly made, so he got that one. Yeah. So yeah. So that's how it started.
How long does it take you to make one guitar?
I haven't really kept a critical time on it, but perhaps you could do it like in 40 hours full time, just at a rough estimate. Yeah.
So how many have you made this year?
This is 1, 2. I think there's 4 or 5 this year. I've lost count a bit there. About 4 or 5 this year, but mainly because of the COVID thing being locked up. But there's two mandolins also in that. So that's probably 7 instruments.
And where do you make them?
In the man cave at the back, the shed.
So this is the man cave?
This is the man cave. This is where it happens.
So what have you got there? That's not a guitar?
That's an octave mandolin. What they call an octave mandolin. Banjo mandolins.
Mm-hmm.
You've got just mandolins and octave mandolins. And bouzouki,s some people call bouzouki,s, I think is the expression for some of them. Yeah.
So that one's not quite finished?
It's just got to have the strings and the tail piece covers the strings, and the bridge. The bridge goes in there for the strings. So that's the bridge. That's a side piece of timber that goes. It's silky oak that goes into the steamer for about 40 minutes. Thereabouts. There's a bit of leeway on that depending on the thickness of the timber and the temperature of the day, for example. Then what happens, it gets put into this mould, which like there's a piece already in there that you can see. It's been pulled in to take that shape for the side of the mandolin. And the same application goes for a guitar also, in a different mould. So that's the way that works. They're left in there so that it maintains its shape. And then once that happens, then they're joined together with blocks inside, and then the top, the soundboard, and the backboard are attached to that. Yeah. So this is a piece of timber for a soundboard or a back, whichever you choose, and the patterns, you keep their book matched from the cutting, so that you get the patterns joining up on the back or the soundboard. It's a piece of New Guinea rosewood, and it's cut to length, and then there's a piece spliced onto it to give you the head of it, like that. So that's spliced on and glued on. Then it has to have a block put on the other end, which is this end of the neck. The block is put on, and then it has to be shaped. So shaped for the neck. The fretboard is a separate piece. It's not part of the neck. It gets glued on afterwards, after it's shaped and sized up. You can make the fretboard, or for example, you can buy a ready-made fretboard, which is a flat fretboard. It's just purely flat. But whereas if you make them, you can give them a radius, as which some players like to have a radius fretboard. Okay, so there's a piece of timber there that you could shape up for the neck, and it requires work to happen like that with a spoke shave. Can you see any chips coming up? Or otherwise use a little block plane, and you can shape the neck like that, which is possibly the longest part of a guitar, or the most time-consuming part of a guitar is shaping up the neck for the guitar.
How long would it take you to make the neck?
The neck would take perhaps about 8 hours in total to do a neck. Yeah, this guitar was badly damaged. The top was all broken. This piece was broken out. All of that had to be all refabricated and reset. It's not quite finished yet in there. The top is not quite ready yet, but it's going to be refixed and reattached.
What's that metal thing in the...
That is the truss rod in the neck. So that truss rod actually is used to actually keep the fretboard at the right angle, the neck at the right angle. So that gets tightened up if need be. So that's the process of the neck. So that will be okay, fixed up, ready to go at a later date. Yeah. So that's the outer part of the mould for the guitar, and which actually takes an inner part. That's the top, which goes in there like that. As you can see from the mandolin one, that's the process. That holds this.
That's after you steam the timber.
After you steam the sides, you set it into that, and then the blocks can go in to hold the sides, and then the next process is for the top and the soundboard and the back to go onto it. Yeah.